Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Power of Imagination. I'm your co-host, Justice Godfrey.
Hey, I'm Tyrone Stephens coming in from Nevis in St. Kitts area.
Yeah, so we
What's
both over
happening?
here. We both in the Caribbean time. So what's on your mind? You were saying something earlier about a paradise, within and paradise without.
Oh man, no, I was just talking about that I'm in a paradise. You can look and see I'm in paradise. That right behind me is the Atlantic Ocean. Over this way here, that's the Caribbean Sea. You know, I'm in a paradise, but I'm saying there's all kind of paradise. The most strongest paradise is the one that's inside of you.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah. See, I could be around a paradise on the outside of me, and I'm feeling like shit in the inside.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
is what's the inside is what's best. You know, you if you tuning in and got paradise from the inside, it's like when I was in prison. You know, uh, they had me in prison physically. They had me in captivity, but mentally and spiritually, they didn't have me.
Right.
I was free because I was free to use my imagination because I could imagine, me being over, you know what I'm saying, in Nevis. I could imagine me traveling, what I'm saying, around the world like I was doing. I could imagine all that. So it didn't never have me in the mental side messed up until only way it did that is that I allowed them to come in. They knocking on that door every day to get me. And some days they did get me, but most days they didn't. So I was talking about paradise and inside.
Well, how would you say somebody is able? I mean, because let's say a brother's down, man. He don't got no money in his pocket. You know, uh, his lady ain't treating him right. You know what I'm saying? He can't. He's seeing all this shit around him when he go on social media. He's seeing people driving nice cars and going out, living in paradise and traveling and eating good food and popping bottles and going to events, and he dead broke.
Mm-hmm.
He can't even think of himself in a better situation. All he can see is his problems. What
Okay.
about him? I mean, it's easy for you to say you physically in paradise, so am I. So it's easy
Oh,
for us to say that, but what about a dude who living in the ghetto of America?
okay. Well, let me say it like this here. There's a lot of people over here in Nevis. They've been born and raised here, had never left here, and they don't feel like they're in paradise because the way they feel inside. See, it's the way that you see yourself inside is the way that it is. If you see yourself in captivity, you in captivity. See, you can see yourself as eating, steaks and everything, but you might be eating a hot dog, but you visualize yourself eating a steak. Then one day you keep that visualization going and you keep charging that up, keep giving that energy. One day you're going to be eating steak. And that steak is whatever that is that you put in your imagination. I'm just using the steak as a example.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
so that's what I would say to the brother. You know what I'm saying? You got to visualize, you got to use your imagination as what you talking about, that you want. Because everything you look at, it was first, it was the thought. Then it was the imagination. God said, let there be light. First he had the thought.
yeah.
So that's what I would say to the brother. What would you say to the brother
I would say
that
two
don't have
things.
don't have that? You living in the islands. What would you say to the brother?
Yeah, and it's the same thing over here, man. Most Puerto Ricans, I live in Puerto Rico. So,
Okay,
I'm just a little bit east, a couple islands east of you. And
right.
most Puerto Ricans most Puerto Ricans don't live in Puerto Rico. But Puerto Ricans love Puerto Rico. Now they do see Puerto Rico as paradise, but the ones who live in here might not feel that because it ain't no industries here. So if you really want to prosper, if you don't have no identity of abundance and wealth outside of what's in your bank account, then you might feel like you just in poverty inside of paradise. You know what I'm saying? You living in the ghettos of paradise. You know what I'm saying? So what I would tell them is first, you got to consume content. That's why people read books, man. You know, you can't just go along with your regular scheduled programming if you feeling down and think something just gonna pull you out of that down state. No, you got to start watching something, man. You got to start watching motivational speakers. Watch Les Brown. Tune in to the Power of Imagination with me and Tyrone. You got to change because if you just looking at what you typically looking at, that's just gonna keep you where you at. And then once you can kind of get a glimpse of light by watching podcasts that's about empowerment. I mean, all of that content is on YouTube. That's all I consume. I had to clean up. I'm gonna tell them one thing I would tell anybody. This is what I think everybody should do every year. Go through and reprogram your algorithm. So when you on YouTube, you can tell it, do not recommend this channel or not interested in this programming. So every time they pull up some of that hip hop shit, some of that shit with somebody just talking crazy about somebody else, I always tell them, not interested in this. Don't recommend this channel. So now my feed is full of Tony Robbins, Vishen Lakiani, Les Brown, you know, the School of Greatness, so forth and so on. So when I go on there, the options to choose from, it's like going into a farmer's market. The options is I'm looking at the best options. If you going into the convenience store, you can choose cigarettes, liquor, drugs, chips. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to get a banana or orange or a coconut water or something, but you got too many options. I made my YouTube specifically. I made my YouTube like the farmer's market. You know, I'm only choosing from the best options. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. And the second thing I would say is you need the book of life. See, the book of life asks you specific questions about yourself that you might be too afraid to ask yourself. You know, it's a section in there that allows you to dig into the darkness of yourself and ask you, well, what's something this week that frustrated you? You know, because sometimes when you down in the darkness, you can't just jump into no power positive thinking. You know, you got to deal with that frustration. You got to deal with, your baby mama getting on your nerves. You tired of the folks down at your job. You tired of not having shit. You tired of seeing motherfuckers shine and you ain't shining. You got to deal with that. You can't skip over that. I don't think you can skip over that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would recommend, man. You need to clean up your algorithm, man, and you are in control. You have a degree of control over your algorithm because the way the algorithm is set up right now on most social media, from TikTok to Facebook to YouTube, it's gonna show you what you consume. So if you like watching chicks on the beach, it's gonna show you a lot of that. If you like watching supercars, it's gonna show you that. If you like gangster rap, it's gonna show you that. If you like watching old mob stories, it's gonna show you that. So it's up to you to change that up. You know what I'm saying? If what you watching is keeping you down, that's what I would
Yeah,
say.
that's very true, man. It's like before they ever had an internet. You know, what was the dude doing then? He
Right,
was
right.
doing what he's been doing for the last 700 and some thousand years.
Yeah,
He's been using his imagination.
yeah,
That's a faculty that the supreme being have given everybody.
yeah,
But society will tell you, you know what I'm saying, that you know, that don't apply to you. Your lot is this here, and your lot is that. Now, if you accept that, that's just like you accepting, you turn on your social media and you accept what it's showing you, and you just stay there. You don't tune in to, like you said, tune into some algorithms that you wanna see. It's kind of stuff that you want to see.
right, right.
You know. So the uh, social media came from, from the reality part of life.
Right.
This was some young dudes that created this here, man, in college and so forth. You know, it wasn't no hellified folks or nothing. They regular people, regular little college dudes. They had an idea. You know what I'm saying? Kept messing with something, and then, boom! Now here we are. You
Yeah.
know, they didn't turn that thing in, to a multi-billion-dollar business. But the mind, and the imagination and visualizations, affirmations, and all that stuff, you cannot forget about this here because you dealing in hard time. Yeah, is it hard time? You, you're right. It is hard time. And guess what? Times gonna get harder. So,
Yeah.
but when times get harder, you double down. You get more downer in what you're doing. You use your imagination that much stronger.
Right.
You can't give up. You got to persevere. You got to have personal initiative. Because things they gonna get rough, man.
Yeah.
They gonna get rough because you got a group of people that's trying to put you back. Trying to put people back. Where they didn't have nothing. Not just black people, white people too, because of technology. You people be hollering about technology all the time. Technology got a good side and it's a bad side.
Yeah.
Everything has an opposite. Up, down, this, that, boy, girl, you know, either it is or either it isn't. Everything has an opposite,
Yeah.
you know. So, technology got an opposite too, man. You know what I'm saying? It'll put you, it'll put things against you, You won't even use your mind that God give you, because you waiting on, it's just like AI. AI is a beautiful thing. Here, I'm 76 years old, man. I use AI, but I tell AI what the fuck to do. It's
Right.
like I'm talking to, somebody that got a lot of information. I said, hey, well look here, man. What I want to know is da 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 da. I
Yeah.
program AI on what I'm saying.
Right.
You use technology for your benefit. Because if you don't, either you gonna play the game or it's gonna get played on you.
Yeah.
One or the other. So technology either is gonna work in your benefit or it's gonna work against you.
And
However that is that you choose to get out. Now, is this thing here easy? No, it ain't easy. Ain't nobody said it was gonna be easy. But is it doable?
and
Yeah,
I want to
you
say
better
something too.
believe it's doable.
I want to say something not only to the brothers that's in the dark. On the next episode, we do need to talk to the brothers that's in jail. Because I can only imagine, you know, what it's like being in a place you pent up, you can't be around the opposite sex, you know what I'm saying? Everybody is a lawbreaker. So, they just I can imagine the energy in there is terrible. But for right now, I want to shift from having a message to the person who's in the darkness, that might be living in poverty in American land of milk and honey, to the entrepreneur, the professional, and the creative in any aspect. See, it's never been a better time to be creative because now you might not make $1 million off your creativity, but you got outlets. See, as an artist, I'm an artist and an entrepreneur myself. As an artist, you just want your art to be appreciated. When you make a hat, you want somebody to say, "Oh man," you want somebody. That's why I primarily make hats. And I love when somebody get to telling me how it's perfect for them and this color and blah blah blah. So um I'm not changing the world, but it's changing my world. You know what I'm saying? Because I sat down with my mind in my hands and I made something that was appreciated with a stranger in the world. And that's what social media allows you to do. You can create, because I was talking to somebody the other day and they were talking about their personal brand and how they trying to essentially define what their personal brand is, and they was a little lost on what exactly they want to do, but they had a strong idea up under there. And I told him, look, man, you already got a good income. If you don't have to make a living off of your creativity, why would you not be creative? That's the God given faculty. When they say man was made in the image of God, God was the original creator. So everybody on the planet Earth got some creativity in it. Don't let them put fear into you thinking that motherfucking AI can replace human creativity. I think not. It's all we always gonna be able to outcreate um machines. I don't give a fuck how advanced the technology get. Now they might be able to make some better machines of war, send some better bombs, some people you can put on the front lines to get mowed down with bullets. But when it comes to creativity, man, that shit is divine. You can't even measure creativity. So don't let nobody trick you out of thinking that you can't be creative, because now is a time where you might be stuck in a job that you hate, but it's paying you good. It's affording you all the luxuries in life that people is looking for, that they consider the American dream. People come from all over the world just so they could be able to drive a car of the current year. They couldn't imagine doing that shit in Afghanistan, driving a 2025 or living in a home with air conditioning and shit. It's people in the Caribbean that never in their life lived in a home with air conditioning, man. So they rush to America to get that. But don't let getting those things separate you from, like you was talking about, that paradise within. That paradise within is that creative self that's within you. That's what the power of imagination is about. The power of imagination is being able to find joy in any moment in life. Even when somebody, your loved one, transitions and they die, you just gain a guardian angel. Now you're somebody looking down on you. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there, man, because as we dissect the power of imagination, we're gonna get into more specific topics, you know. But right now, in general, it was just on my heart to say that, man, because I really see us drawing up an audience of entrepreneurs, artists, and professionals that's creative, but they stuck in a profession that don't allow them to be creative. See, you ain't got to always make a living off of your creativity. That don't mean you can't be creative. If you love, it's like they said on that movie, Sister Act 2. It said when you wake up in the morning and you don't think about nothing but singing first, and baby, you a singer. You ain't got to get no record deal. If that's what brings you joy, man, sing your songs. That might be what God put you here to do, man, to raise the vibration. That's what we got to talk about on the next episode. Who is the folk artist? See, we don't nobody never talk about the folk artist. The folk artists is them brothers and sisters in the church, man, that you can't wait to sit next to, because they gonna be humming their ass off. You can't wait to Sunday morning because sister gonna be singing her heart out. You know what I'm saying? You want to sit next to her. That's why people love to go to the Caribbeans and these tropical places, because they see brothers and sisters that's poured in the motherfucker, but they drumming and they bringing up the vibration of the whole fucking town. So it ain't nothing wrong with being a folk artist. Guess what? Them folk artists don't make no hell of a motherfucking living, as far as finances is concerned. But when you talking about living and changing the changing the frequency in a town, I mean, if you go to some of these gentrified towns and you don't see no brothers and sisters selling clothes on the streets and drumming and singing and shit, them towns ain't worth shit. Don't nobody go on vacation in them towns. Motherfuckers go on vacation. The richest people in the world go on vacation to some of the poorest places on the world because them people is full of spirit. That's what the power of imagination is about.
Our imagination is about a multitude of things. Everything we look and see comes from our imagination. Your imagination, man, and this book we come up with, the book of life, give you the opportunity to write down things about that you think about, that you imagine, and so it can keep you on course. Because it's so easy to get off course now, because things are moving so fast because of technology.
Yeah.
See, technology has its advantages and it has its disadvantages.
Yeah.
Everything has an opposite to it. You got to get in the middle of the road, what I'm saying, and be able to land in the middle of the road with it, because other than that, you're going to be a little lopsided, either way. And either way you tilted, you in bad shape. But you know, everything has an opposite to it, man. And technology can be a beautiful thing. And also, man, it could be a thing, they could have information moving so fast, you could get something 1 second and then you wake up the next day and hear something else is in motion. Then something else,
Well,
later on that evening, something else is in motion, around the world, and you tune in with this technology around the world, you keeping up with that. It's easy to forget things, not just because you're older. I thought it was just me until I started talking to young folks, and they said, well, they had been forget. I asked them something, they said, shit, I don't know.
well,
Because it ain't on their mind right now. They look at social media now, they can tell you what they seeing right now, you know. but a lot of them, they forget about what's going on, 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, because it's moving so fast.
well, yeah, Ty, it's like information is like money. It ain't about what you get, it's about what you retain. So people is getting overstimulated. That's a big thing that people talk about on social media about, because you got to remember, social media is just a tool for people to be able to say whatever they want to say. So it's people talking about all kind of things on social media, and a lot of problems is being solved because people collectively are coming to the same conclusions. So one of the things that people have concluded is, with all this social media, there's overstimulation. And that's a term. You can Google it, because you might be experiencing now where you scrolling. It's hitting you. You getting hits of dopamine, but you also getting hits of serotonin and cortisol, and you all over the place, and you don't even know why you're on this thing. Somebody asked me, um, are y'all gonna come out with the Book of Life on ebook? And I said, well, not right now, because a lot of the value in this book is the fact that it's a physical book. It can allow you to say, all right, let me put the fucking phone down and pick up a book. And sometimes you don't want to read. So it's a little bit of reading in the Book of Life, but most of it is about you being able to um use your ideas or just clear your mind. So it gives you a lot of different prompts to be able to ask you questions that you can write down and answer. So you don't have to go read Think and Grow Rich if you don't feel like you might have been scrolling 2 hours on your phone and you feel overstimulated. You might not want to consume more content just because it's in a book. Well, the Book of Life is like a refuge for that. You could just go through there and write. Say, man, damn, today, man, I've been scrolling all day long and I just feel distracted, man. I feel like blah, 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 so forth and so on. Whatever's on your heart, it gives you an outlet to be able to express that. It's not your average book. And I look at it, I was telling you earlier, I look at it like an heirloom. Back in your day, um, I know it kind of stopped towards my generation. People used to pass down photo albums, where you say, oh man, that was grandmom and them, saying, yeah, that was our first house, man. We bought this house, after we got married, and it cost was $3,500, saying, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is like a photo album, but this is giving your innermost thoughts. I got this Book of Life, man. It's so personal. I can't wait till my kids discover this, 100 years from now when I'm dead and gone. My grandkids, man, they say, oh, man, grandpa, man, he had some shit on his mind. You know what I'm saying? I see how he was able to build what he built during his lifetime because he was planning this shit every day. I mean, every day he had the same theme. He was manifesting this and that. I mean, he was living for tomorrow. That's something my great grandfather said. Live for tomorrow. But this book of life is a great tool. You might be listening to this and you a parent or you a grandparent and you look at your kids and your grandkids and they don't seem to have no real sense of direction. This is a great gift to get them on their birthday or their high school graduation or they or Christmas or Kwanzaa, something like that. This is what I plan on gifting every year. I'm gonna start gifting this to my family members and brothers and sisters who I know who this will benefit. You know what I'm saying?
I can understand where the young brothers coming from, man, because I see that. I look at that every day, man.
Well,
Every day, every day I'm grateful.
he was speaking directly to the power of imagination. What I like about his content, he lives in Thailand, and he was saying that he don't make six figures. But see, in his mind, he wasn't limited to the ghettos of Memphis. He went to where his dollar was gonna stretch. You know what I'm saying? And he living in paradise. But like you said, first you got to have paradise within. You got to be able to see. And if you can't see past your current circumstance and you don't like your current circumstance, you need to get the power. You need to get the book of life when it drops because it's gonna help you see the things that you do have going in your favor. This is the thing I like Les Brown says. He said, if you had 3 months left to live, what would you do today?
Mm.
So that's why I'm making this content. Because if I had 3 months left to live, I continue to try to put out ideas that's going to inspire my children and the next generation. Because I only got 3 months. So, I mean, what can I do for myself?
Yeah, well, I like this episode, man. It's about it's about using your imagination, man. It's about being tuned in to life and letting life, and living life and enjoying yourself, man. And whether you got some money or you ain't got no money, cause like the brother said, it don't cost no lot of money to move around the world.
Right. Right.
First of all, you got to get the thought that that's what you want to do. Because
Yeah.
most folks is just afraid, of taking that step, leaving their surroundings,
Right. Right.
because they feel comfortable in where they are, man. Most folks don't leave off the block.
Right.
If they do, they may go across town. They don't leave out their city. To be able to travel and see the world, man, it's just the thought of that, man. It's so enlightening, man. I've been traveling, man, since you know, like I started traveling, man. I was like 19. You
Okay.
know, I started traveling, man, and I've been traveling ever since, man. And it's a beautiful thing, man. So, you know, uh, I encourage people to travel and move around, see the world, man. When you travel, it broadens your horizon. You get a chance to see how different people do different things, and